Tennis star Iga Swiatek said she may flout crazy competition rules to protect her health after a string of injuries among players at the China Open. Six-time Grand Slam champion Iga Swiatek said on September 29th she might skip mandatory tournaments to protect her health after a string of injuries among players at the China Open. The world number 2 from Poland reached the last 16 in Beijing after her Colombian opponent Camila Osorio lost their first set 6-0 and retired hurt before the second. The amount of matches on the tennis calendar has been a major talking point in recent years, with players such as Novak Djokovic cutting back the number of events they compete in as they near the end of their careers. I don't know yet how my career is going to look like in a couple of years. Maybe I will have to choose some tournaments and skip them, even though they are mandatory, the former world number 1 said. Starting in 2025, the WTA made it mandatory for top players to participate in each Grand Slam, 10 WTA 1000 events, which includes Beijing, and 6 500-level tournaments. It's just impossible to squeeze it in the schedule, the former world number 1 said. I think we have to be smart about it, not really unfortunately care about the rules, and just think what's healthy for us. Swiatek called the requirements pretty crazy for top players, adding that people are more fatigued in the second half of the season. I think the Asian swing is the hardest part because you feel like the season is going to finish soon, but you still need to push. Swiatek faces Emma Navarro next after the 16th-seeded American progressed due to another retirement, this time from France's Lois Bosson on September 29th. 2 other players had also quit mid-match in the women's singles draw a day earlier. But the most significant withdrawal for the Beijing crowd has to be home favorite Zheng Qinwen, the 7th seed whose first tournament since Wimbledon was cut short in the 3rd set against the Czech Republic's Linda Noskova, who reached the last 16, having been 3-0 up in the decider. In the men's ATP 500 event also running in Beijing, Jakub Menchik retired during his quarterfinal on September 29th. Last week, men's world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz had a scare at the Japan Open in Tokyo when he landed awkwardly on his ankle. The only thing I can do now, when I decided I'm going to play all these mandatory tournaments, is to just take care of my body, take care of the recovery. But yeah, there are a lot of injuries. I think it is because the season is too long and too intense. Meanwhile, Janner Sinner showed his battling qualities to reach the China Open semifinals with a 6-1, 7-5 victory over Hungarian Fabian Morozin on September 29th, claiming a 7th semifinal spot in the 8 tournaments he has played in 2025. The Italian world number 2 said, "He's someone whose peak is high, which I knew before the match. When he was serving for the set, he made a couple of unforced errors which helped me to come back and win in 2. Up next for the 4-time major champion is Australian 3rd seed Alex de Minaur, who reached the semis when Czech 20-year-old Mensik retired from their match with a left leg injury while trailing 4-1 in the opening set. American teenager Lerner Teen was the beneficiary after Sinner's compatriot and 4th seed Lorenzo Musetti also pulled out following a 3-0 deficit in the deciding 3rd set. The 19-year-old's next opponent is Russian 8th seed Danil Medvedev, who beat 2nd seed Alexander Zverev of Germany 6-3, 6-3. Over in Tokyo, Alcaraz recovered from a slow start to beat Casper Ruud 3-6, 3-4, 6-4 on September 29th and reached the Japan Open final, where he will meet 2nd seed Taylor Fritz with the chance to claim his 8th title of 2025. Alcaraz will also be seeking revenge on September 30th after a shock defeat by Fritz in the Laver Cup in San Francisco earlier in September, his first loss to the American in 4 career meetings. He's been playing great tennis lately. The American Fritz, 27, earlier saw off compatriot Jensen Brooksby 6-4, 3-3 with flawless serving in tough moments to reach his 3rd final of the season, after claiming grass court titles in Stuttgart and Eastbourne. "I served insanely well today," said the 2022 champion, who sent down 13 aces. "A high percentage of first serves, hit a lot of lines. It felt like any game I didn't hit 3 aces, He was putting a ton of pressure on me, outplaying me from the baseline most of the match. I was just able to hang in it with my serve and then capitalize on the mistakes that he made. AFP Reuters.